of the world, now I'm living. And the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah.
Okay, welcome everybody. It is February the 21st of 2018, and today my guest is Stefanie Garcia from New Orleans. Hi, Stefanie.
Hi, Anne. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's so great to connect with you finally. We've been looking to do this for a long time. So
very, very long time. Very, very long time.
So Stefanie and I met last year. Stefanie contacted me for a reading, actually, there last year, and we just connected right away. So I really want to expand on topics related to our Master Number 11s to help in the learning process. This is your year. I mean, 2018, it's a Master Number 11 year. And Stefanie is a Master Number 11, so she gets it, right? She's been there, she's done that, she's doing it every day.
Heck yeah. Yeah, in more than one way, yeah.
Exactly. And she's created a fantastic website, and it's called voiceadream.com. And she has an amazing blog for which I signed up for, and you'll see me sharing it all the time because I just think it's fantastic inspiration. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about that, why you started the blog, and as you being a Master Number 11, what does that mean to you to be able to blog, and what are you trying to accomplish through this?
So what it means to me is a lot. Over the last year, I would say year and a half of my life, I was spending a lot of time really lost in direction. And I had started my career off as a photographer, and I had just hit a wall with that. I had lost a lot of interest in it and a lot of momentum in it. And there's just something that was starting to call me that felt like I needed to go ahead and to do. And by following that little voice inside, that is what ended up leading to a lot of change that happened in my life. And there was a lot of ups and downs. And throughout that process, I felt like I needed to write about it. I felt like there was a lot of things that I was learning. There's a lot of things that I felt like I needed to share. And I had to originally get over that hump of believing that I had something worthy to say. And I know that coming to you and learning that I was an 11 life path and learning what that was and truly embracing what that was got me over that hump. Awesome. And now in sharing that, it's just really important for me that whatever I share, I put out into the world for the person behind me, for sure. For sure.
And what I've been seeing from your blog is that 11s are intended to be spiritual teachers. They're intended to share a message that's going to empower and to inspire other people. And so what I see from your blog every time you post, it's always something I feel like you've channeled. Would you agree with that?
It feels like it. It feels like it. And you know what? I did have a blog years ago that I tried. I mean, one of the things is, I think as 11, you have so many ideas, right?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on this way. Yeah.
And you go, okay, well, I gotta try so many different things, or I want to do this and I want to do that. And what I was always doing, and I guess blame it on the Gemini of me, I would start it and then start it. And so I had a blog before that I'd written on, and I just felt like it was so forced. Nothing was really coming through. I'd be inspired to write. I'd write 5 blogs, like, every other month or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then eventually I just stopped it. There was something about just getting into alignment with who I am and being honest with that, trusting that, embracing that has just allowed it to just flow. I don't even have to try. I don't.
And so where does somebody find your blog?
Voiceadream.com.
Voiceadream.com, perfect. And you've got an amazing collection of merchandising things on that site as well, called, tell me again, Together We Rise.
The Together We Rise.
Right, and so I love the philosophy behind this, even though I had a little bit of a brain fart there. I love the philosophy behind it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, well, when I created the product, it was actually after the election here in the United States, and a lot of fear. I was starting to really feel that there was a lot of fear around November of 2016. of like just everybody feeling like they didn't know where we were going to go from here. People were really angry at the outcome of that election. Some people were really happy about it, but what I was feeling was a lot of from the people that were not happy with it. And so there was just something in me that just clicked and said, you know what, the power's never been in the hands of any leader or any government. If we've ever put our futures and our destinies in the hands of the powers that be, you know, it's always going to be something that you can't rely on somebody else to care about something as much as you care about it, right? Exactly. So I think the power always is in the hands of the people, always. Okay, but I also say that when one person prospers, we all do.
Exactly.
So even as I walk in my path, and I am true to myself, and I'm true to what is calling me in my heart, and my life, I keep creating it the way that I want to create it. That then turns around and gives permission to anybody else who's watching me, whoever else I can come in contact with. So Together We Rise really is about we're better together than we'll ever be apart. And it's about unity versus division.
Absolutely. And I've always believed that your success is my success.
Yeah.
You know, whatever we can do, it's once you get that right, once you stop. I used to come from a place of fear, you know, with my own business and my own life. Even with my numerology business, you know, I was out there, I was doing trade shows, and I had all the business cards done up and all the flyers and you know, doing a whole bunch of advertising and pushing it on Facebook. I don't do any of that anymore. I took all that energy and I rechanneled it into just assisting people and helping people. And it's just shown to be so much more in alignment with what I'm trying to do, right? And I think that's what we're trying to help people recognize right now, is about being in proper alignment this year for 2018, right?
That's huge. That's huge. And let me ask you this. Did you feel like it was more effort when you were doing the trade shows and you felt more tired and more exhausted about?
Do you know what? I felt so cheap. I can't describe it in any other way. I felt cheap. I didn't feel like I was valuing myself, you know, and if I'm not going to value myself, who is, right? So
right.
I just was not, yeah.
It's something about not trusting yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's so common. I mean, you know, you're the 11. I'm not an 11. I do have 11s in my chart, but I get it. You know, if you're not on your path, you're not happy. Right? If you're on your path, you're happy. I mean, the universe has given us this amazing gauge called happiness or unhappiness.
The little compass, the inner compass, right?
Right. And it's that simple. You know, if you're happy, great. If you're not happy, you're not on your right path. Get back on the path. Do more of what makes you happy. You know, it's
kind of like guardrails, really. Honestly,
yes.
If you think about it, it just kind of just bumps you up against the guardrail, and you go, okay, oop, I didn't like that. You know,
right?
When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. That's really clear. But the fact that when you're not really in alignment, it takes so much energy. And everything around you takes so much more energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one here, the work that I'm doing now, the fact that I've gotten so clear, it doesn't take my energy. In fact, it actually revitalizes me.
Yeah, it's effortless.
Feel happy, excited, you know.
Right. So 2018 is a master number 11 year, because 2 + 0 + 1 + 8 equals 11. And you and I, before we got on this call, we were talking about how we're both being able to see things just dropping into our laps, like synchronicities, like crazy. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that's happening?
Gosh, all right, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Help you with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that, well, what I had said to you originally was that I think it's happening more for people who are in alignment. I think it's happening for everybody. I think that the universe is really dropping things to us just to kind of lead us down our path to get us a little further. I think everybody is moving forward a little bit, whether they're aware of it or not. But I think the people who are aware of it and who are in alignment, it just seems to be like, okay, this is what you need now.
Yeah.
You know what? The more trust you put into it, the more coming. That's what
I think that's the key word for 11s, isn't it? Is trusting that you're exactly where you need to be in exactly the perfect timing, and you know exactly what you need to know. Even though the biggest fault of the 11 is that they tend to project so far down the road, and when you're projecting so far down the road, you feel like you haven't accomplished anything. That's why you keep pushing it down the road. You keep pushing it down the road because you don't feel good enough to be in the moment, right? Mm-hmm. So it's trying to bring it back to center. So what I love about 2018 is it's like it's like January 1st, like a light went on and the whole universe just lit up. And it allows us, I learned something in January about this. It allows us to see our relationships, because remember the 11 is actually a 2, right? 1 is 2. So in 2018, we actually can see our relationships in our lives much more clearly than any other year, okay? But what I wasn't counting on, I think you and I talked about this last time, what I wasn't counting on was now I'm seeing myself in a different light. And man, oh man, there's some stuff about me I don't really like very much. Right? So I'm having to work on that. But you know, the things that have been hidden from us and what we've been hiding from ourselves, the universe is gently this year peeling back those layers and causing us all to feel a little bit vulnerable, a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more emotional, a little bit more sensitive. Yeah, so it's but it's a really good year to be able to see what needs to go, right?
Yeah. Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Last time I was in a 2-year, I was really emotional. I could barely handle my emotions in that year.
Right.
So when this year was coming, I was like, I don't want to. My dog.
Yeah.
My dog is barking, hopefully not. But this year I was a little apprehensive. I was really apprehensive because I was thinking, I handled the emotions last time. I just, please don't. This year, I've had emotions, you know, but it's just more of a deeper feeling. It's not so emotional this year for me as it just feels like deeper resonance. But it's interesting that you said with the relationships, because here's where I've been seeing it the most in my life. I've been seeing the biggest difference between who I am and what I want to do in my life and where I feel like, you know, maybe the direction is that I need to go in, or the way I feel the world needs to go in, my points of view, what I see that's been illuminated, like it's clear to me where we need to go, what we need to do, and or at least for me in my life as well. Where that bumps up directly against the other people in my life and other people's point of view.
Right.
Last year, I think what we saw was the difference between what one group of people wanted versus what another group of people were wanting. Neither one of them were willing to budge, and that's where we were running into a lot of that friction.
Right.
This year, I think we still stand in that, and people are just really, really vocal about it. You know, and that division that I've seen between, like say, the new world versus the old world, what I've been seeing, for me in my life, it's been hard to deal with that. It's really been hard to bump up against how other people feel like I should be living my life versus how I feel like I should be living my life.
Right.
And I really step into that conviction and go, no, I'm going to do it.
Right.
It's
really getting the courage necessary to step into who you are. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't know that I struggled for a very long time to step into the light of being a numerologist. I've been doing this for about 18 years, but it was only in 2015 that I actually could embrace it, that I could actually extend my hand and introduce myself and say, hey, I'm Ann Perry and I'm a professional numerologist, and say it with confidence and conviction and like I owned it. My whole world turned around when I could finally do that, right?
What happened about 2015 is amazing, because that's when I hit that wall.
Was it? Yeah.
That's when I went into that, I call, Kate Northrup calls it the fertile void.
Okay.
That's when I went into that period of time of going, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm really aimless. Everybody is saying, you know, you need to do something with your life. You're not, what are you doing? You know, I had a partnership with my sister as a photographer, and she was going, you know, you're not following through on anything. You're dropping it all. And I just could not, it didn't matter what I was doing. I could not get it. So I don't know if anybody else felt that way as an 11, but I sure as heck did at that.
Well, but there's a prime example of when you're not in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, life doesn't roll out well, right?
Oh
right.
Yeah, that wall comes and you cannot.
But you know, I think, don't you feel that sometimes as an 11, don't you feel that it's just getting the courage to be able to even put it out there? I'm a big believer in Archangel Michael and talking to him, because he's all about life purpose, right? And whatever your belief system is, you know, whoever you choose to pray to, it's totally okay. But I think sometimes it's having the guts to be able to say, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know I signed up for this mastership. I know that I'm supposed to be doing something much bigger than what it is. I don't know what it is, and I could use a little bit of help here, right? Because as a part, you know, part of the 11s feel like they don't want to be exposed. You know, they don't want to be exposed for what they don't know. You know, they're very vulnerable. And it's frightening to say, hey guys, I need some help here. But it's amazing what happens when you do. When you just put it out there and say, listen, I could use a little bit of help here.
Can I tell you that that's been my journey?
Yeah.
I mean, you could describe my journey. It's been that. Now, here's the thing that's happened in my life, though. I didn't want to be exposed for not knowing what I was wanting to do.
Right.
And society says, just push forward, just do something.
Just keep pounding through.
Yeah. And I've written a blog post about the truth about hustle, you know, and I wrote about it a lot. There is a push. You got to push. But as women, I don't think that we're more intuitive.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that that's not a male thing too, but I think I just got connected to that.
Yeah.
Can I say courage is one thing, but the words that have been coming up for me a lot has been trust. And
yes.
Trust and trust.
I
would go down the street and see the word trust pop up.
Yeah.
Or I'd pop up on my phone or on Instagram or something, so I couldn't ignore the signs. But the trust is the trust is in yourself.
Yeah, it is.
You gotta trust yourself.
Yeah.
And I even know written about that. What does trust yourself mean? I mean, honestly, people go be yourself, trust yourself, and you say, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
And it means trusting that you know what you're going to do, what you're supposed to do, and if you don't know, that you will figure it out.
You know, I always think that we're driving a bus, right? Everybody's driving a bus. We've got the keys to the bus. We're all driving, but not all of us are exactly where we want to be. So sometimes you have to get in the back seat and toss the keys. Say, listen, you guys drive for a while. Because I don't know what to drive this bus to, you know?
I had to put my hands
and trust that they're going to help you find it, right?
You know, well, and I think clarity comes from action.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. No
Sometimes
question.
you have to start somewhere and just go. Because for me, it was, for the longest time, it was just write one blog post and then write the next one and write the next one.
Well, that's like me with my videos, right? Yeah. The very first video I ever did, I took my laptop out to the counter and I put it in the kitchen and I looked at it and I went, I think it records, not sure, right? I turned it on and I did a video on the 11s. And like the response to it was so amazing. I left it up there and then everything blew up from there. You know, I mean, blew up in a good way, right?
Yeah, right. Clearly in a good way. I think the other thing is getting caught, 11s can get caught up in having too many ideas.
Right.
And I think
absolutely. Yeah. Not grounded enough.
And that paralyzes us from wanting to start, because that was me for a while there too. I had so many ideas I wanted to do. I was so excited for all of them. I was trying to do them all, but finishing none, making in none.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about 2018. This is a universal year, as we mentioned earlier. And of course, my focus is always on the master number 11s, right? And how things affect them personally. And I can say that 2018, being a master number 11, affects all of us, whether we're master number 11 life paths or not. It's going to affect all of us in a very predictable kind of a way. But I wanted to hear your view on how you feel the 11s are going to be going through 2018, and what can they expect? You know, what sort of things can they expect, and how can they best get through it?
Okay, well, the first thing I know that I can sense is that I feel like 11s have been activated, honestly. I feel like that activation started sometime, like right at the end of last year. And this year, I've been seeing more 11s popping up around me, and it may just be because of my awareness, but I just feel like they're just activated. Right. I think that 11s this year have been seeing what's been happening, and there's just something swelling up in us that says, get out there, shine your light. I mean, one of the biggest things that you had said to me, I've been writing my blog for a while, but one of the emails that you sent to me just recently was, keep shining your light. Yeah. And that's literally been another phrase that's been showing up for me a lot. Shine your light. And how to do that is
be authentic.
It takes courage. It takes some bravery. Let me say that to make any kind of change, I always think about the Socrates quote, which is, change is not by fighting the old, it's by building the new. Okay, so, and then the other quote is always, be the change you wish to see.
Absolutely.
Okay? I would say as 11s, and I would say about anybody, this is universal, but as 11s, we always feel like there's something bigger that we have to do further down the line. There's always something that we feel like we have to aspire to, like we have to be a movement. And I don't think that we have to be a movement. We definitely have to, but be the heart of a movement.
Right.
We have to hold the vibration of it, essentially.
Do you think that with all, the whole universe this year is going to be more sensitive and more passionate about whatever it is that makes them passionate?
Yeah.
Everybody's feeling that right now. So for example, you've got a lot of hate crimes going on, you got a lot of murders, you get a lot of mass shootings, you get all kinds of horrible things going on. Do you think that the 11s might be more propelled maybe to jump into their authentic selves, to maybe take a risk to make the improvement that they hope to see in the world? Because you guys are you're messengers, but you're humanitarians. On a big level, you want to help. You want to serve. You want to do something much bigger. You want to leave a mark. I feel that 11s have a need to know that when they leave this planet, when they go on to the next realm, that they've left a mark, that they've done something really productive in this lifetime. Do you think that they'll be propelled a bit more this year to get on the bandwagon with that?
When I've been watching the things that have been happening, the first instinctive thing that I've been feeling, I've not necessarily been inspired to take any kind of action towards, because I know a lot of people, you're seeing a lot of the shootings and mass shootings and stuff. And I see a lot of passion. I see a lot of people getting really angry. I see a lot of people standing their ground. They're very vocal. They're not backing down, and God bless them.
Yeah.
But for me, and I don't know if it has anything to do with being at 11, I honestly have just been sitting back and going, I don't know if that's necessarily the right way to do it. Or I'll see somebody else's actions and go, no, we need to be a little bit more balanced here. We need to be a little bit more cooperative here. So the answers that I feel are coming to these solutions or to these problems are coming through me, but it's not necessarily, I'm aware of what needs to be done.
Yes.
But I don't necessarily feel like I need to take an action in that direction per se. I feel like what I need to do is stay in my own lane. I've been activated to step in, because here's the biggest thing. And again, before doing this video, because this is my first one here,
Mm-hmm.
but for the last 2 days, I've been watching things that have been happening, not just here, but in other countries. And it's been, especially that I've seen happening to children.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart. It hurts to see it. But the first thing that came to my mind is I'm done hiding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm done. Like, there was so much fear before.
Right.
About what will this person think? What will this person say? Will my family agree with me? Will this doesn't look like a job? This isn't the way that it should be done. And I go, you know what? Say whatever you want to say. Do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to do this, and I am going to do this. I am going to stay in my lane, and I'm going to do the work that I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I'm not hiding anymore.
But I guess, the thing that comes to my mind is that 11s are the peacekeepers, right? You guys are the peacekeepers, but how can you be an effective peacekeeper if you're hiding behind the shadow of who you are? If you're constantly trying to conform, and I think that's a huge thing for 11s is conformity, right?
I was the one I had to battle.
Right? They learn very, very quickly as a child that they're perceived as different, okay? Just because you vibrate differently, people respond to you differently, right? You've got a higher vibration than those who have a lower life path number. So it doesn't make you different, it makes you unique, right?
We don't see it that way. We don't see it that way.
You don't see it as being different?
No. I mean, what I will say that for me personally, it came through as a fear of rejection.
Yeah.
For two, the other thing that came for me was, there was one of two things. I either inspired or comforted someone with energy when I was younger, or I ended up getting some negative feedback.
Right.
Like, there was something about me being around somebody that would spark someone in a negative way that they felt like they had to squish me out.
Right.
So one of two things happened in my life. And the one where I felt like people had to control me or control what I did, or kind of try to put that light out a bit, that was the part of me that I struggled with the most. That was my shadow. And I think that if anybody's talking about the layers being peeled off, this year. It's in those shadows.
Yes.
It's in those things come up to come out.
Yeah.
But for me, that conformity was a huge one in the last 7 months. It's been, do I go this way? Or do I do what everybody else expects? And there is that peacekeeper thing of, I just want to play along. I just want to fit in. Because I think as 11, we already know that we stand out. We already feel like we're on the edge. We want to blend in, but we can't, because we just stick out.
Well, your light is so bright.
Exactly. Yeah. But I would also say that, you know, anybody who feels like they fit in just a little bit, even if it's not who they are, but they're like a part of something.
Yeah.
We're just too scared we're scared to shine our light and stick out even more than we already do.
Right.
Because it's scary, because you know what, when you start following your path and you start going this direction, there is going to be a period of time where there's a void.
Yeah.
Some of the people that you surrounded yourself with that don't necessarily fit you anymore, or they're saying, you know, you need to go this way, and you go, no, I'm sure that I need to go this way. So you're walking that road alone sometimes.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it feels safer to stay in the shadow.
Sometimes it feels safer to just sit over here because at least I belong to someone somewhere, because over here I'm by myself.
Right.
And I feel alone and I feel separate.
So this is all great information. And I know that we're going to continue our discussion in a further video. How can people contact you for one of your clarity sessions?
They can go to voiceofdream.com and there's a contact page, or actually you can just go to the clarity sessions page and you can fill out the application.
Awesome. Awesome. And I would really, really encourage people to do that, because if there's one thing that Stefanie has done for me in our relationship, she has a way of being able to see through the bullshit. she can see right through me, and she can see when I'm resisting something or whatever, and she's able to articulate it. And you're really good at that. You're able to kind of see through, and what I perceive as being a struggle, you look at it and go, what's the big deal here? You just need to do this, right? So you're really good at being able to simplify the chaos in my head, and I have only every reason to believe that you'll be able to help an awful lot of other people as well. So I really, you know what, you got to sign up for her blog. It's amazing. It's so enlightening. They're short, they're sweet, they're to the point. They give you something to think about. They're always worthy of being shared on social media. And I just want to thank you for taking your time today to come and speak to a fellow 11s, because I mean, you know, they're my passion, and you're just able to help us to understand further a little bit more about the journey. And this is just the start of our journey. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. I'm going to put our contact information on the slide after this. And I hope that everybody else will tune in to our next video, where we'll be talking about some different aspects, some different things, and different steps that you'll be able to take to help you on this traveling journey of being a master number 11. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Take care. Bye for now.